Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's message is about faith, intuition, and manifestation. And it is not at all about me being better or bragging or anything. It is simply to let you know that it works and you have to trust. Because more times in my life, people call it coincidence, luck, whatever. No, there are no coincidences. Everything in life happens for a reason. And I remember one time when I was single, I needed a truck. And I told a friend of mine, I want a truck so I can haul like brush and trash and stuff like that. And I said, but I only want to spend $500 on it. And they laughed at me and they said, you're not going to find a truck, not one that runs, for $500. I said, yes, I will. I did. and then when I was done, I turned around and sold it for $500. I didn't lose anything when I bought my motorcycle. I decided, the friend of mine that was helping me look for it, he said, how much do you want to spend on a bike? And I told him. Everybody at the table laughed at me. They said, you're not going to find a bike like that for that price. And I said, if it's meant to be, it will be. And sure enough, not only did I find the bike for that price, but it's my favorite color. And it's perfect. I love it. So, and I still have it. So then when I wanted to open my bakery, when you want something so bad, if it's for your highest and best, the universe is always there to support you. When I went to open my bakery, well, that's another story in itself, how I got to that point. However, it's a pretty cool story, but anyway, I looked for shops. I called agents, I called store owners, I called everybody looking for a space. People wouldn't call me back. The rent was astronomical. Tons of work needed to be done to the space, whatever it was. And I was trying to make this work. When I let it go, I went to a shopping center in Ashland one day. And at the end of the shopping center, I happened to notice it looked dark. Something told me to walk down there. It was an empty space. I was like, wow. I called. Everything fell into place perfectly. The rent was cheaper than any place I had looked. My business, I had more business than I knew what to do with. I had to turn people away. When it's meant to be, and if it's meant to be, it will be. And when I went to buy my last house, I don't sit and figure out, and maybe, it's how I operate. It may work for some people, it may not work for others, but it's how I operate. I just shoot something out there in the universe. And I asked, how much am I supposed to look for? Give me a dollar figure to look for. And I searched Zillow, and I searched and I searched and I searched. And when it was time, because I wanted to find something in the mountains. So I was looking for houses with a mountain view. And after searching, I was like, God, why? And I was told, it's not time for the mountains. I said, okay, show me where to go. The next week, I found my house. And it was within the price range that I was looking for. I had no idea how much the mortgage payment was going to be. None. Didn't care because I knew if it was meant to be, it would all work out. In the time of looking for that and all of that kind of stuff, my dad had passed away. I was going through a separation / divorce. I didn't know how much money I was going to get, if any, from any of that. And it wasn't a concern. But I found the house, closed within 30 days, and had enough money out of all of that to pay for the house totally. Like almost to the penny. Then when I left that house, my job had ended. My house sold the day I put it on the market. And I knew I was supposed to move. I just knew. You have this feeling you're supposed to move. And when, and I looked for houses, and none of them felt right. And again, I asked, what dollar amount am I going to look for? I got a figure. That's what I searched for. And I had 3 agents out here working for me because all I knew is I was going to the mountains. It was time for me to go to the mountains. And everybody, because my house sold, my last house sold the day I put it on the market within hours for full price. So now I have no house, no job. I knew God had me. And that's what I told everybody. They're like, aren't you worried? It's like, no. Why am I going to worry? Worrying is not going to find a house. Worrying is not going to find my job. I know God hadn't let me down yet. He ain't going to start now. When, within 2 weeks of selling my first house, I found this one. It had everything I asked for. Again, closed within 30 days, which doesn't typically happen. And the money was like everything. It was everything I needed. Again, when you follow your intuition and you listen, because when it was time to make an offer on this house, the number that came to me is what I offered. And they accepted it. Like, no back and forth, no nothing. It was, okay. And then when I started doing my healing work, before I even knew what the heck I was doing with clearing the energies, a girl that worked for me called me one day. Well, she didn't call me. She was doing a training class for me. And I always met her for lunch. This day, she told me, she's like, no, don't, I got this. Don't worry about it. And I'm thinking, that's not right. Something in me told me, you need to go. It's like, okay. I met her after class. I asked her, I said, what's up? And she tried to blow it off. And I looked at her. I said, I know you better than this. What's up? And she proceeds to tell me that as she put it, I fucked up. She said, I tried to open my third eye and all hell broke loose. She said, bad shit has been happening. Now, I'm not saying that this happens all the time. She was carrying some heavy baggage. So she said, bad stuff's happening. When you asked me this morning, I knew I wanted you to come up here, but I couldn't say it. Something kept telling me not to. When she was telling me all this, I knew what I had to do. Again, at this point, I had not taken my Theta Healing class. I had no flipping idea what I was doing, but I just knew that I needed to help her. So we went in a hallway, because I told her, I said, put your shit in the car and follow me, because we're going to deal with this. And I walked in there and cleared her energy. And of course, she could see angels, and she could see the negative beings too. But she she was standing on the other side of the hallway from me, and she looked at me, and she followed like something going down the hallway, and she's like, Pam, somebody's here. And I said, okay, is it black or white? And she said, it's white. And I said, okay, well, that's a good energy. That's a good thing. I had no idea, because I can't see these things. So I just trusted that it was a good energy. So anyway, we're going through the clearing, and again, I'm just following my intuition, following what I'm being told to do. It was Michael that was there. Michael is my guardian angel. He was there to help me and protect me, because he knew I had no freaking clue what I was doing. But this is what Michael does, is takes care of these energies. So I cleared it. It was an amazing, amazing experience. And I mean, it was amazing. And then after that, at the first Theta Healing class I did, one of my supervisors reached out to me and said, you said if I ever needed you to let you know, and I need you. I was like, what? And we were talking about clearing negative energies at that moment. I am not kidding. I cannot make this stuff up. We were talking about clearing negative energies in that class. So I reached out to him after at the end of the class, and I said, what's up? And he said, I need your help. Stuff's going on at the house. Mom can't sleep. She's a wreck. She's like depressed, the whole bit. And so I was like, okay. I went out. On my way out there, and not only do I clear energies, I send protection and all of these kinds of things. And a few times I have felt the energy shift into me from Michael. And it is, you don't want to mess with it at all. So driving out there, I felt this energy shift, and I knew we had it. I knew it was done. So we get there, and she's scared to death. She's suicidal. She's depressed as crap, and she's in tears the whole bit. We go through the session. What she's telling me isn't adding up. And all of a sudden, I get this feeling that it's not what she thinks it is. She thought it was her ex-husband breaking in the house. I'm told it's the negative energy doing these things in her house, rattling the chains, putting the footprints on the floor, messing up stuff around the fireplace. As soon as that feeling hit me, I felt it stand next to me. I just felt the energy. And I just laughed, because I knew Michael was there. And I again, I just do what I need to do. And that's it. So I laughed, and I was like, you have no idea. And I called for Michael, and I said, help me. And I saw Michael take it and slam it against the wall and hold it by the throat until I got done. And I told the lady, I said, I know what it is. I know what's going on. When I cleared that energy, she went from tears to beaming light. I felt the energy lift from the room, like physically. Sorry, my chickens are having a field day. I literally felt the energy lift from the room. And I looked at her when I was done, and like I said, she was smiling. The tears were gone. And she was so happy. And she was glowing. And it was all because I followed my intuition. And I got my ego got out of the way. Because my ego would have questioned every one of those things. But because I didn't question any of it, and I didn't try to rationalize any of it, it just works. Now, I don't go do stupid stuff. Of course, some of y'all might think that that's pretty stupid, but it's what I do. And then last month, a friend of mine reached out to me, and there was an investment thing that was happening. And she's like, Pam, you really need to do this. You're going to make lots of money. And it's not about the money for me, but I do need to pay my bills. So I pulled some money out of my account and I sent it to my wallet. Anyway, and it just sat there. And there were issues after issues after issues. And I was like, the ego part of me would have stepped in and bugged the crap out of her because you're dealing with my money. You don't mess with my money. That's just one thing you don't mess with because I get very upset. So, but I knew it was for a reason. And I just let it ride. And, a couple times I reached out and I said, hey, any news on what's going on, whatever. Today, she called me and she said, it's a blessing that didn't go through because the account that you were going to put it into is closed and nobody can get their money out of. So if I had followed my ego, I'd have bugged the shit out of her and made it happen, figured out how to move this money, and I'd have lost it. But because I trusted that everything happens for a reason, I still have my money. There was there's technology out there, like the med bed thing, but it's a little bit different. A company wants to promote this and put it out, to all these places. And I'm thinking, oh my God, last week I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing to help my business. Reached out to the company and they said, no, we're looking for somebody that can get this done as fast as possible. I'm thinking, you don't even know me. The ego part of me, when I set my mind to something, there's very little that stops me. Nothing stops me, actually. And I thought this was the answer, right? To my business taking off. They said no. My initial response when they said that was, you don't have a fucking clue who you're dealing with. If you want it to happen now, there is no better person in this world than this one right here to make it happen right now. Because I know if it's meant to happen, it will happen. There is no doubt in my mind. That attitude lasted for about a minute. And then the loving part of me, the enlightened part of me, stepped in and said, no, we're going to step back and look at this from the love aspect. And the fact that everything happens for a reason. There is a reason this isn't working. And I let it go. So, because I know if it's meant to happen, that machine would be here by now. I'd have already found a place to put it, and things would have just worked out. I know that. But it wasn't meant to happen. That's a chicken. So, and there are other things going on in my life right now that I just trust. I don't worry about anything. There is no fear. When you come from fear and worry, your ego gets in the way. And all this stuff about manifesting, there is more crap on the internet. And maybe it's not crap. I don't know. Maybe everybody does it different. But there is more stuff on the internet about manifesting now than I've ever seen in my life. I can tell you all that sometimes more knowledge is damaging. Ignorance is bliss. Because the things that I've manifested in the past, I didn't do all that crap that they're talking about. Since I've learned a lot of this stuff or read a lot of this stuff, it's like my ego kicks in and it's like, okay, am I doing it right? Did I say the right thing? Do I have to think about it? Do I not have to think about it? Am I supposed to let it go? Am I supposed to concentrate on it? And it's like the universe is like, Pam, stop the yo-yo shit. Just let it go. You know how to do this. So it's nothing but trust. Know in your heart what you want. And it's not about the frivolous stuff. It's not about, I want a mansion and $1 million. And, when you want from greed, you're not going to get it. Or if you get it, you're going to lose it real quick. When you want from a place of love, and it's for your highest and best, it will happen. It might not happen today, but it will happen. There's no magic to it. The only magic is to trust, get rid of the fear, get rid of the worry, and just trust that God's got you. Because He does. The Creator, what makes you think the Creator that created everything you see, hear, feel, everything, God created it, won't create what it is that you need or your heart desires? My big heart desires are still coming, but I know they're going to make it. I know it. I have no doubt, because it wouldn't have shown up in here if it wasn't meant to be. Everything else that I've seen in here has shown up. This will too. So anyway, like I said, it's not complicated. When you trust your intuition and you trust and you listen, and especially now with everything that's going on, discernment is huge. Just because, the Bible talks about false prophets, there have been a lot of false prophets. There's still a lot of false prophets. And a lot of them now are talking about the awakening process or, whatever. It's like, trust your intuition. If your intuition tells you that's not a good idea, go with it. Trust that. If you get an uneasy feeling about somebody, what they're saying, or the motives behind what they're telling you, trust it. Because it's usually right. Whether it's the Creator, God, Source, the angels, your guides, they're all there to help you. So anyway, like I said, things are shifting quickly, and like I said, everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Everything, and again, this is not about Pam has a horseshoe up her butt. No, it's not about I'm lucky. It's not about anything other than I pay attention and I follow what I'm told. Therefore, and I trust and I don't worry. Most people in my situation right now would be worried sick. I'm not even going to tell you what my situation is right now. It will come out in time. But I'm telling you, I am where I am. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. The situation is exactly the way it's supposed to be for a reason. And I know that. So I'm okay. You know, I told another friend the other day, everything is going to be okay. Even if I die in the process, it's going to be okay. Death is not a bad thing. Death is a beautiful thing. It is the end of this physical body, but my soul will live forever and do amazing things. It already has. It already has. So, trust. Get rid of the fear. Get rid of the anger. Anything, any low vibrational emotion that you have has got to go. None of the things that I just told you about came from a feeling of lack, fear, anger, resentment, frustration. None of it. It all came from a place of love and trust and faith. That's why it all happened. And it's beautiful. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm saying I love you guys more than I can tell you. And I want all of you to experience the abundance that God has and the universe has for you. It's there. It will only happen when you put yourself in a and every one of them, every one of these things will tell you you have to be vibrationally equal to what it is that you're trying to bring in. That part is true. When you're vibrating down here with fear and anger and resentment and hate and worry and frustration and anxiety and all of those things, and you're trying to attain something up here, it ain't gonna happen. It isn't gonna happen. So get rid of this stuff. And that is what I do. That's why, I've cleared a ton of stuff for me. My vibration is raising constantly. So if you're feeling down here, reach out to me. We can eliminate the traumas, the whatever it is, that the worries, the feeling of lack, all of it, because it comes from a belief system or a trauma or a fear or whatever. We can get rid of it so you can vibrate up here to attain what it is you want. So have an amazing day. I'm sending you all love and light, and I will talk to you soon.